Hello, and welcome to another Wednesday's Musing. And today, let's share the idea regarding soul fragments and what really does that mean. Reimagine before time began that you are in this beautiful light that we call the oneness. And this was a time before form began, before worlds were being created. This is in the very, very beginning, in which you were in the womb of God, our Creator. And God decided to bring forth creation through each one of us as soul beings to experience itself, for the souls within itself to become individualized and yet remain connected to the whole, for the learning experience called creation. And imagine that as you were birthed from this essence that was formless, that you were birthed through consciousness, the power of love, into form, and given the ability through free choice and free will to create whatever you dreamed about creating in cooperation with other souls that also had dreams of creation. And so worlds, planets, and stars were formed to, how shall we say, house these indwelling souls, the I am, the monad. And the monad decided to split itself into different fragments called incarnations on different planets for the learning experience of creativity and expression, in cooperation with other souls called soul groups that had similar visions of creating on planets, different planets with different environments, creating culture and civilizations, and learning how to live with other souls in harmony and cooperation. Now, at some point, mysteriously speaking, beings, and we also will consider the angelic realms and the elemental realms as well, because they're all part of creation, mysteriously began to perhaps become self-indulged and a bit narcissistic in their creations, and perhaps forgot their divine connection with the light that birthed them, and began to believe and to think that they were all powerful, which they are, which they were at that time, but in a separated sense. And perhaps souls began to learn to manipulate and control other life forms, other souls, elementals, angelics. And fast forwarding to what we are witnessing today, not only on our planet, but in this quadrant of the galaxy, other planets and systems, we're all of a sudden now seeing division and a sense of separation and a sense of, how shall we say, extreme narcissistic behavior and tendencies. Now, is this the will of God? Did God ordain this? Is this really, truly a part of God's source? Well, that is up to each one of us to discern and to contemplate. But in any case, souls through traumatic experiences, and we're talking over millions of years, became fragmented in a sense of split off from its core essence, the I am and the oversoul. And now we are moving into an energetic space where all of these fragmented aspects of soul can be reclaimed and reborn anew and brought back into wholeness. For we have reached, shall we say, the outer limits of separated thinking and beliefs. The belief that we are separated from this beautiful prime energy that created all of life in the very beginning. And we are remembering that we are indeed part of that divinity. So we'd like you to contemplate, not necessarily when you fragmented yourself, but to tune into those fragmented aspects and to recall them back into love. Those experiences of not feeling loved, not being loved, those experiences where you felt alone, dark night of the soul, midlife crisis, birthing trauma, feeling neglected and or punished by parents or the church or adults as you were growing up, being, how shall we say, terminated from your beliefs, your spiritual beliefs that went against the grain of culture and society, herd mentality. So now is a time to disengage from herd mentality, tribal consciousness, planetary chaos, and judgments of any kind, knowing that those were past experiences and now you can move into another place within you where there is only love and connection, where there is visions of what could be and can be. We now have the power to recollect and to recollect these fragments and bring them back home. That is the journey of the prodigal son and daughter that left its father, mother home to journey out into the cosmos, eventually to come back home with the wisdom of all these learnings and lessons, bring it back to source. So source can also now rebirth itself into its new beginnings and its higher levels of creation and consciousness, or sources also ever evolving through us as we bring home the wisdom from our life experiences. So take a moment and through your inner knowing, just begin to bring your fragments back home. All those parts that have been hurt and wounded. Those parts that have been neglected, not acknowledged, that have been shunned by society, that have been punished for their beliefs. Knowing that all of that does not matter now. It is in the past. It's time to move forward into the new earth. So do this in your own way in meditations this week. Know that you can bring all that through your inner knowing called realization, that you are empowered spiritual presence manifesting through a body, that you are the power of the word made manifest. So thank you for tuning in and listening to this musing today. And you may go to kenjikumara.com for more information on events, new programs, our many hundreds of products that were designed when they were recorded to be of the future. So perhaps our products from 15 years ago are very appropriate for you now on your journey home. Many blessings, and thank you for tuning in today.